Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw. Welcome to my first album review of 2014. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. Hope you guys can bear with me. Anyways, today we're talking about the brand new album from Iced Earth entitled Plagues of Babylon. Make sure to check the description of the video for other reviews of the same album from reviewing friends of mine in the community. Make sure you check that description. Anyways, let's talk about Plagues of Babylon. I've known about Iced Earth for a very long time, but it took me a couple years ago to really start getting into their albums, because before that I heard maybe one or two songs from them, and when I heard them I was like, oh, I like it, it's pretty good. Then I got to a lot of other stuff and kind of forgot about Iced Earth for a very long time, until I started listening to some of their albums randomly one day and started liking what I was hearing. And then you start listening to other albums, and then you start realizing that Iced Earth is that whole lineup change thing, where they're notoriously known for having multiple lineup changes throughout either one of their albums, or it takes a couple albums and all of a sudden it's like a completely different lineup, and the only remaining person is the rhythm guitarist. And so you're just like, oh, like, man, like, when are they going to get like just one lineup where it's consistently just the same guys? And unfortunately that has not happened yet. But this lineup for Plagues of Babylon, in my personal opinion, listen to this album at least 5 or 6 times in its entirety all the way through, and sometimes repeating the album over and over, that this is a great lineup, in my personal opinion, that plays on this album. This is a lineup, I felt like the chemistry was great, and that was something that I was really wanting to focus on first. Of course, I went into this album with an open mind, but I wanted to make sure that the chemistry between all of the band members, not just 4 of them, or 3 of them, or 2 of them, but every single person who played on this album, the chemistry was there, because if there's one person that doesn't have chemistry with the rest of the band, it's going to make the album suffer. For me, personally, this album does not suffer from chemistry. It basically doesn't suffer at all, really. I feel like this is a great album to really showcase what Iced Earth is all about. And they're all about the heavy aggressive tracks, they're all about the melodic tracks, they're all about those melody-driven tracks. They are known for being one of those bands that has been out there for a very long time, and they're very influential, and you can tell throughout this whole entire album that you can basically see how all of this is correct. So for me, this was a great album. I'm going to come right out and say it right now. It's a great album from them. Plagues of Babylon. Love the name. I also was more interested because there was a song called Cthulhu, and so that was really a interesting thing to put a song title as Cthulhu, and I was like, oh, I like that. Heard the song, great track. But anyways, let's get back to the actual, the gist of this album. Then we'll start getting into more of the songs, and then we'll get to the band members and all of that, and then we'll be done. But for me, this was an album that really drew me in because of the guitar playing. That was the main thing that drew me in first, because the rhythm playing was very aggressive, and it doesn't have to be technical 100% of the time. I like that, because some bands feel like that they have to play 100 miles per hour at a time, or they have to play technicalized riffs all of the time. For the rhythm section, we're not talking about leads right now, but for the rhythm. But for Iced Earth, for this album specifically, Plagues of Babylon, there are some technicalized riffs, there are some fast-paced riffs, but there are some riffs that are simplistic, pulled back, but at the same time, it's groovy, it's catchy. So it's not like you're listening to a riff that easily anybody could pick up a guitar and play it. No, these riffs are pulled back, simplistic compared to the technicalized, more aggressive, fast-paced riffs, but they are simplistic, but also groovy. That was the word I was trying to get to. And that's what really pulled me in, because there was that change right there, all the changes that were going on with the guitars. Now with the lead playing, I love the fact that there was a lot of melody, and there was a lot of harmonizing, and there was a lot of just parts that were really catchy as well, because we have the rhythm section that is a lot of groove and a lot of catchiness, and the lead playing is the same as well. And I think that's great, because it's not just the rhythm, or it's not just the lead, it's both that are having these groove catchy times. And when the solos, actual guitar solos comes up, that's where it gets really aggressive and technicalized, and it does do some melody here or there, but overall the soloing is great, and that's what really pulled me in, the actual guitar playing. But then when I started listening to the whole entire album and started listening to everything else besides the guitars, I noticed the bass playing was really up to point. I noticed the drumming was very aggressive, and I love the fact that there is parts where the drums are more groovy, and they're not trying to be all very hardcore and try to get to where it's like double bassing the whole entire time, or there's blast beats. It's like the drumming actually on this album is actually to where it's actually, you know, going off what the guitars and basses are doing. Like, what are they doing? Are they doing some groovy stuff here? The drums are going to do that as well. Are they playing fast, aggressive, technical stuff? The drums are going to follow suit, and that's great. That shows the chemistry. It shows that the writing, what they did it together, they all figured this stuff out, and it feels like that the band worked really well, and they worked really hard on trying to figure out how these songs are going to be put together, because you can obviously tell that if there was work put into songs or not. And for me personally, throughout this whole entire album, you can tell that the actual songwriting that went to this album was actually something that was really worked on, and it really pulled off. It really paid off in a great way, in my personal opinion. The vocals on this album, I feel like that was... vocals can either make it or break it at this point, because we already have all this great stuff going on with the melody-driven tracks, the melodic stuff, the simplistic stuff, the technical stuff. We have all this different stuff going on. But what are the vocals going to do? I personally think the vocals did amazing. I feel like that the vocals really felt like they were right for these songs, because obviously you can write any types of material you want, but if the vocalist doesn't follow suit and it doesn't match, it's going to make the song suffer. It's going to make your band not sound as good. It's just not going to end up very well for anybody in that situation. But I felt like that everyone on this album had great chemistry. It all worked in its own personal way. And right now, I'm going to tell you guys my personal highlights for this album. And then we'll get to the actual band members and we'll be done. So, using the handy-dandy iPhone here. So, Plagues of Babylon, the actual title track, which is the longest song on this album, clocking in at 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Great opening track, really enjoyed that. Among the Living Dead, track number 4. Number 5, Resistance. Number 6, The End, with a question mark. Number 7, If I Could See You. Number 8, Cthulhu. Number 9, Peacemaker. Number 10, Parasite. Really enjoyed that chorus from that song. Number 11, Spirit of the Times. And number 12, Highwayman, which is a cover. So, I really enjoyed those tracks. Now, there is one gripe I want to talk about real quick, and then we'll actually get to the actual band members, and then we're done with this review. The gripe that I had was the actual outro they had for this. And the outro is only 24 seconds long. It's a sound clip, or it's somebody talking. It's a famous line from something. I can't remember exactly 100% what it is exactly, because I've heard it a lot of times before. But in my personal opinion, why is it on there? That's my question. That's my personal opinion. What? My personal opinion is, why is it on there? I don't understand why it's there. I don't know why. It's just there. And I felt like it didn't fit. If you want to put an actual outro, it should be like a small instrumental piece, or just basically end the song on a very epic ending high note. But for this, it's like this random outro that makes no sense in my personal opinion. So, I would say remove the outro and leave Highwayman, the last track. Wait, is it Highwayman? Yes, Highwayman. Wanted to double check. Ends the album. It's the cover. Just let it end the album. There's no reason, I think, for this 24-second outro clip. It doesn't fit any of the music. It's just kind of thrown in there. And I personally think it shouldn't be there. That's my only gripe, though. Everything else was great, but the outro, I don't understand. Anyways, let's get to the actual personnel. Let's talk a little bit about them and their actual playing, because I did speak a lot about the actual music, but I want to get to the more of the better stuff about them. So, let's talk about Jon. Of course, he is the sole remaining person in the band. He played rhythm guitar, acoustic guitar, a lot of acoustic guitars on this album. I really enjoyed it. Lead playing, back vocals, lead vocals on Highwayman, the cover. Jon, in general, he's an amazing musician, whether you like him or not, with all the stuff going on with Iced Earth, like losing band members and stuff like that. But he is a great guitar player. The rhythm guitaring on this album, the rhythm guitar playing was great. The tone he picked was great. The acoustic guitars were very beautiful, and they were very just, you know, driven to the point where, like, I want to listen to more acoustic guitars, and there are going to be more. And there is more on this album, so there are some acoustic guitar moments. And everything else he did was very great. The vocals he did on Highwayman was great. And there was a lot of harmonizing bits with the guitar playing, so him and the actual lead guitar player, who is Troy. Sorry, I had to make sure double check. But it was very good to see that there was some harmonizing stuff there. But overall, great playing from Jon. Good stuff from there. Troy on lead guitar. There was a lot of great lead guitar solos. There was a lot of great melodies that were going on. And so it was really cool to hear that the band still has it intact, and that this lead playing guy, Troy, really fits along with the band, because he can melody when Jon is doing something rhythm-wise over here. So it's very good that that chemistry is there, because if there's no chemistry between the lead guitar player and the rhythm player, it's not going to work. It's just going to go all over the place, and it's not going to make sense, and it's basically going to go, why is this happening? Please make it stop. but it works very great because the chemistry is there with the guys. So good stuff with Troy, great lead playing. Anyways, Stu on lead vocals and backing vocals. Stu, in my personal opinion, hope I'm saying his name right, S-T-U, is a great vocalist. It fits right along with the music, and I felt like that the chemistry was there with him and the rest of the band members because he knew when to come in on cue. These songs were really, I think they were written to basically help his vocals be more enhanced because regardless, he has great vocals, but I feel like these songs really helped him be more upfront and be more of that front man. That's what I felt like that these songs were written to kind of help him out. So that was good. He was really good on his lyrical content. There was a lot of different type of stuff he was writing about, so that was pretty cool to see. And also the fact that, on the more aggressive, technicalized tracks, he's really upfront and more of aggressive in his voice. When it's more of the pulled back, simplistic, like acoustic guitars or clean guitar tone type tracks, he's more pulled back with his vocals and he's more singing-wise instead of more aggressive in your face. So that was good to see that he has both those ranges. Unlock the iPhone. Anyways, Luke on bass guitar. Luke did a great job in my personal opinion. There was a lot of moments where he's playing something different than the guitars, and that's something I always listen to, is the bass player playing exactly the same thing 100% of the time as the guitars are doing, or is the bass player is playing something different. And he does on a lot of the times. He plays something different. He's doing something different over here, on this section, on this section. So it's great to see that he's not always following what the guitars are doing. He's actually doing different stuff to kind of switch it up and add some more elements to the track. So good job, Luke, on doing that. Great bass sound, by the way. Great bass sound. Raphael, I could be saying that completely wrong. Let's just, R-A-P-H-A-E-L on drums. This guy did an amazing job, in my personal opinion. Like I was saying earlier in the review about how when the guitars and bass are doing a more groove type, catchy thing, the drums are following suit. Technicalized stuff over here with the guitars and bass. Same thing for drums. And that's exactly what happened, and I think that's what really helped these songs to be more catchy and more aggressive when it gets to it, because the drums are following suit. It's not like the drums are doing something completely different while they're doing something over here that's completely different, and it's like not working. It's not working at all. But it's all that chemistry. And that's what the main thing I was catching, is that the chemistry was there, the drumming was great, the sound was great, the bass pedal was very heavy whenever that bass pedal was hit once, or double bass parts, or a triplet or whatever, the bass pedal sounds great, that bass drum sounded heavy and mighty, and the drumming just sounded great, a lot of great drum fills, and overall, great stuff, so good job to the drummer. Anyways, overall, this is an album that I think that Iced Earth fans need to listen to ASAP. Now, if you're a fan of typical metal, if you're a fan of thrash metal, if you're a fan of basically just the genre of metal in general, and you've heard of Iced Earth and you're kind of interested, I would recommend Plagues of Babylon. I would recommend this album because it shows the aggressive side of Iced Earth and more of the melodic, simplistic side of Iced Earth. And that melodic, simplistic side is not bad. So I would recommend Plagues of Babylon to anyone who has not heard their music or who has heard their music, because Plagues of Babylon, in my personal opinion, is a great, great album. You have a rating for this album? I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10. Great release from the band, so make sure you check it out. Anyways, guys, make sure to check that description for other reviews. Thank you guys for watching my first review of 2014. Hope you guys liked it. If you liked the video, like the video. And if you want to see me or you want to see more of my content, click my name or click wherever to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.